Well, we like to come back to the challenge because, first of all, it's a really enjoyable event. And it's a quite unique event, we think, in Hong Kong because it's sort of combination of business, sort of leadership education, as well as sort of physical activity. So in terms of sort of management training or management events, there isn't anything like that in Hong Kong. Well, we had a team, obviously, in the event, which learned a great deal about teamwork. I mean, we had different representative from each function. So we had someone from finance, someone from sales, someone from services. And since the event has finished, we found that our teamwork and cooperation and collaboration has improved quite significantly. Yeah, we felt that having an existing team, already team members sort of, in the same function, we wouldn't get so much value. So there's always a danger within business that you get silos, that the different departments, different functions don't cooperate very well because their interactions tend to be, sort of infrequent and not in much depth. So we thought by getting a representative from each function, having them together as a team event, that would be really valuable, and it turned out to be that way. Yeah, there was, I think it was 5 members of the team. I think only one of us is no longer within the company. So the majority of the team members are still together, still in HTS Hong Kong, in Hitachi Hong Kong. So that sort of teamwork and collaboration. Yeah, I think we all did. I mean, we were thinking before the event started that me being the managing director, that I'd be in charge of every event or whatever, but it didn't work out that way. The way we ended up doing it was that for different events, we had a different person leading it. And so we all learned sort of some leadership skills. And it was situational leadership as well. There were times when you wanted the whole team to get together and be creative. You wanted some ideas, you wanted some suggestions. There were other situations where there was time pressure, and you really had to delegate and get things done. So it was useful in that we had different experience with situational leadership, and we had different team members being leaders at different times. So sometimes I just took orders, right? And I learned to be a good team player. So, and it was interesting, in an environment like that, some of the hierarchy you get in a company breaks down, and you get some natural leadership coming out. And that's the way, I think the team members enjoyed the fact that the boss would sometimes get stuck in and just do what's needed to be done. And it was interesting seeing that there were some people that naturally found it quite comfortable to take leadership, even if they don't necessarily. I think if people in the company was to say, is that guy a natural leader, they may not have naturally sort of said, yes, that's him. But when the event came out, they actually kind of stood up and took leadership and sort of showed the rest of the team that they have good planning, good organization, good ideas, and we naturally just sort of saw them as a leader. Yeah, I'll give you an example. The guy who runs my services organization, I knew he was very competent at what he did. He had expertise, he had experience, but it's not so easy for me to see how he manages his team. And we were all also looking for someone who could take another step up to a more regional role. And I wasn't sure whether he was ready for that sort of responsibility. And it's difficult because I only see him interacting with me, one-on-one usually. So I don't often see him leading a team. That's something that he does outside of my sight, So in that event, I was able to see that he had good organization skills, well-disciplined, listened to people's input, could be decisive if he needed to be. So after that, we actually identified him as one of our sort of top talent, because we have that process in the company of identifying top talent. So in that sense, it was very helpful for me to identify a couple of people who could do more than they're currently doing in the company. We need to launch a new business in about 2 months. Right. And I think it would be really useful to have that team in a different environment working together, because whenever you put people together in a group, interactions can be difficult at first because they don't know each other. And something I noticed that activity is only a few days, but it's very intense. Yeah. The amount of time you spent with colleagues over 3 or 4 days in that event can be equivalent to a year, you know, and also in different situations. Sure. Whereas in the normal business environment, you might be always interacting with someone in the same way. Yeah. So you can't make a judgment about, well, can they play a different role? And in this environment of that sort of team, the way the event is structured, you can actually judge people in different situations. We learned a lot from the first year. I think the nature of the event, we were surprised at the amount of planning and sort of organizational skills we needed to have. I think we misunderstood the event to being more of a physical activity. There is physical activity, but whether you're successful or not is really not down to fitness. It's really down to your ability to work as a team and to organize yourselves and to plan effectively under time pressure. And the ones that do that are the winners, not the ones who are the fittest.
So in terms of being
the first time we did it, we only picked people who we thought were physically fit because we misunderstood the nature of the event. But now we've broadened it out. The rest of the organisation understands what the event is like now. So we're tending to pick the smart guys, not just the fit guys. So we want to do well. We want to be effective as a team. But the emphasis is not so much on whether we win or not, or how well we finish. Actually, that's not our main objective. It's really the value we get as an organization from doing the event.
And yourself, will you?
Yes, there's always one slot for me. I'll have the other team members being different, but I'll always make sure I get on the team.
Fantastic.